3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years don't mean nothing at all. When you waited for the love of your life, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. When you waited and you kept yourself, you weren't laying in bed with nobody. You kept yourself pure, kept yourself holy. And when the world around you was sleeping around as if it were sipping on coffee, you decided, I'm going to wait on the one that the Lord has called me. You learned that them 3 days, them 3 weeks, them 3 months really don't make a lot of difference. But this is a time when Joshua is already 80 years old. It's an exciting time now in the life that we would say the young man Joshua, but the young man was an old man in our day and our time. But look at somebody and tell them it's still an exciting time. This was the beginning of a covenant that had been made to Abraham over 500 years earlier. And so now Moses had gotten to the edge of the water, but Moses had not crossed over the Jordan River. You remember that there was the first crossing, which was the crossing of the Red Sea, and it was a symbol of moving into salvation. But the Jordan River was totally different. It wasn't about being saved. Now it was about being mature. Look at somebody and tell them, tomorrow you got to grow up. You don't get to go into the miracles with a little child's mentality. And so when Israel made it into the promised land, the Bible declares that they went to a place called Gilgal. And there they were cut off the foreskins. I feel like preaching that. Because any man gets to talk like that, he gets a hurting already. They caused them to stay there until they were healed again. The Bible says that when that time happened, that then the miracles ceased. That now they had to grow up and walk by faith. He tells them, you got to get to the edge of where your blessing is, and then you got to learn how to stand there and wait. I wonder how many of us have not waited on the right promise. We waited only until our patience was through. We waited until we thought that the church would grow a little quicker. We waited until we thought that the pastor would call us to do a certain work in ministry. But there is a waiting. I feel like preaching that. Look at somebody and tell me, you better learn how to wait. When you don't learn how to wait, then you can find yourself in trouble. The Bible reminds us that when the Lord said unto Jeremiah that thou shalt go to a hill, and thou shalt see a potter there, and thou shalt behold the potter on the wheel. Well, anybody that knows the story knows that the potter's wheel has 2 wheels. One dictates the pace, that the more quicker you do the bottom wheel, the quicker the top wheel turns. But the reality of it was that once the vessel had been made, it was not given into ministry, but the vessel was taken off the wheel, placed on a stand, and allowed to dry. And some of us in the waiting time don't want to wait on the Lord to work certain things out of our lives. Come on, lift your hands and say, Lord, help me to wait. If I can but learn how to wait, then even in the midnight hour, the Bible has already declared that weeping may endure for a night. But lift your hands and tell your neighbor, make room for my joy. That's why I'm waiting on tomorrow, because the Lord has given a promise. And sometimes our nights turn into weeks, and our weeks into months, and our months into years. But look at somebody and tell them, wait till you see the ark of the covenant. Wait until the Lord keeps your eyes moving. Wait and see how the Lord shall move. And while we're waiting, we've got to recognize that there are certain obstacles that are trying to get in our way. The Bible declares that the nation of Israel had a manna mentality. They didn't want to learn how to grow. They did not want to learn how to walk by faith. They got so sick of the manna that they cried unto the Lord and said, Lord, is this it? Is it more manna? But I came by to remind you, you need more manna. You need more word. You need word after word. Word on Sunday morning. Word on Sunday in Bible class, word in YPWW, word in the women's department. Lift your hands and say, Lord, I need your word. And so under Joshua's leadership, the people now began the process of crossing over. But at this time, the waters had already flooded. Lift your hands and say, Lord, I'm in trouble now. I've been waiting by the edge. I've been lifting my eyes to the hills from whence cometh my help. And all the Lord would say unto them, that when you get there, follow from a distance, because when you get in the crowd, you can't see around the crowd. When you get in the crowd, sometimes you can't see over the crowd. When you get in the crowd, sometimes your view is obstructed. But the Bible declares that there shall be a space between it and you, 2,000 cubits by measure. And there are two purposes with that. One is discovered in the 4th verse, when the Bible declares that ye may know the way that you are to go. The second reason was because we have not passed this way before. And I don't care how long you've been in the church. I don't care how long you've been at this church. The Lord told me that tomorrow is a better day, and that the people of God would stand back, lift your eyes to the hills from whence cometh your help. The Bible declares that you're going to have opposition. I'm tired of church folk that think they don't have to go through nothing, but the text is clear that you're going to have some devils, you're going to have some demons, you're going to have some ites, you're going to have some trouble, you're going to have some afflictions, you're going to have some long nights and some weary days. You're going to have some days that the Bible declares that man that is born of a woman, y'all don't hear me, it's but of a few days, and those days are jam-packed with trouble. But lift your hands and say, Lord, after I suffered a little while, then you have already declared, then you shall settle me, you shall perfect me. Look at somebody and tell them, I'm on my way to a better tomorrow. I'm on my way to a big future in God. I'm on my way to growing in the grace and the admonition of the Lord. I'm on my way to getting rid of the retardation that has impeded my growth. I'm on my way to putting on the full armor of God. I'm on my way to facing the giants that are in my life. Lift your head, all the gates. Come on, touch somebody and tell them, be lifted up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is the King of glory? The Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in your battle. Lift up your head, all ye gates, be lifted up, ye everlasting doors. Well, how are we going to do it? Well, I've got to finish with this point. The one thing you've got to learn how to do is you got to learn how to sanctify. I like that word. The word sanctified comes from a Hebrew word. It's the word kwadesh. It means to be set apart. It means to be consecrated. And so the Lord said unto them, before this thing can happen, before I can bring you into the place of your provision, you got to learn how to set yourself apart. You got to learn how to get your mind on God. You got to learn how to lift up your voice even in your prayer closet. You've got to learn that when nobody else is coming, you come to prayer meeting. When nobody's at Sunday school, you come to Sunday school. When nobody is singing in the praise, you lift up your voice and cry unto the Lord. Sanctification Sanctification is one of the lost things of the church. Now holiness has become charismatic. We want the gifts, but we don't want the lifestyle. We want the riches, but we don't want to sanctify ourselves. But the Lord said unto him, he said, Joshua, on tomorrow I'm going to do a new thing. And the reason why God waited for so long was because the men in the wilderness failed to mix the word of God with faith. And the one thing I want to remind you, as I take my seat, if you don't pass God's class, you don't get a free pass to the next grade. No wonder some of us are still in the mess we're in. No wonder some of us have not come forth in victory. Just because Joshua is walking in grace doesn't mean you can ride his coattails. I hear the Lord say, he's my servant, and his charge is to you to now sanctify yourself. Come on, tap somebody and tell them, get yourself right before the presence of God. Get your mind right. Get your heart right. Get your spirit right. And turn with all your mind. For the Bible declares, when you seek me early, then shall you find me. Lift your head. Lift your heart. Lift your mind. And say unto God, do it for me. That my tomorrow is better than my today. All of your promises, all of your prophetic words, all of the things you put in my heart, the Lord said that on tomorrow I'm going to magnify you like you've never been magnified before. I'm going to lift you up so they're not looking around you. I'm going to set you up so they're not looking at a dead vision. I'm going to raise you up. So as I was with Moses, so shall I be with you. And you know, in the church, some of our problem is right in the pews. You know, Jethro picked it up and said unto Moses, man, you got a Godfather complex. You around here trying to do everything by yourself. But the thing that thou doest to the people is not good. Y'all didn't hear that text. He said the thing that we do by not sharing the load, the thing that we do by not lifting others in ministry will begin wearing us out until we don't have strength to do the thing the Lord has called us to be. It ought to be your dream. It ought to be your goal. It ought to be your aspiration that you pull your pastor and get him away from the things that detract, from the things that sap his strength, from the things that are distractions, from the fires he has to chase because you keep playing with fire. Y'all don't hear me here. So he can give himself to the ministry of the word and prayer. Every pastor needs to be able to lay before the Lord unhurriedly, without a schedule, not needing to keep an itinerary, just to hear from heaven. Look at somebody and tell them, my life depends on my pastor hearing the right word from the Lord. That's why you got to sanctify yourself, because he ain't got time to go counsel you when you've been laying up with the wrong person. He ain't got time to go buy no baby blankets because you couldn't keep your drawers up. He ain't got time. Y'all don't hear me in here, but he doesn't have time to counsel the marriage where he told you you ought not get married, but you went on anyway. Lift your hands and say, Lord, help me to understand